Good to go. I'll relay any reports I get straight to you.
Sounds good.
What's good, YouTube? Land the Ultimate Form here, back again once again. And today, with a rather different video. Something hopefully I'll be able to do in the future, providing there are more demos out there for games I want to try out. But if you have noticed the title of this video, we'll be talking about the new IP releasing soon on February 22nd, Anthem. I got the opportunity to play the VIP demo last weekend, preceding the free demo, which is next weekend. And I just wanted to show off some free roam footage, as well as talk about some of the things I experienced, some of the thoughts going through my head, as well as showing off some of the cool stuff that I managed to do in the demo. Now, it might be strange when you think about it, honestly and with some actual effort, that BioWare, a game developer who is known for powerful and innovative single player experiences that are story driven, to be making a game like Anthem, a games as service looter shooter backed by EA. And you're right, it is rather strange to be in such a position. It's not often that game studios take the time to veer off their normal trajectory and make something that they haven't made before. However, if the trend is to be believed, it also yields some of the most spectacular games that we as modern gamers have come across. Take Guerrilla Games, for example. Their departure from Killzone yielded Horizon Zero Dawn. Though it has many aspects of Killzone in it, it is not something that Guerrilla Games is used to making. And look how well that did. I'm not saying that Anthem will do as well, but I'm just saying sometimes a far departure gives a game studio a new way of thinking of things, and sometimes a new lease on life. Now, before I start discussing the demo and all that stuff, I want to just clarify what Anthem is for those who probably don't know what it is. As I said before, it's a looter shooter games as service that promises to pull together a four-man squad in what are known as javelins to face the trials and tribulations of this world, Mirrors. Mirrors is a world that was crafted by the Shaper gods, and in their time of building the world, they mysteriously vanished, leaving their tools behind. Their tools run on what is known as the Anthem of Creation, a force of nature, so to speak, that could be harnessed to create and shape the world around them. However, after their departure, they left all their tools lying about, and every so often they activate, causing great cataclysms, changing the world, mutating the creatures around, and causing just absolute havoc for most. Humans on numerous occasions have been on the brink of extinction. However, they've been able to traverse the world using what they have which they dub the Javelin exosuit.
Thanks. I'm carrying a fragment for the Arcanists.
There are 4 javelins available to us in this game. The first is the Ranger, who is your versatile jack of all trades, close combat exosuit, which allows you to get in close with your opponent, as well as has balanced maneuverability and abilities. You're equipped with the assault launcher and the grenade launcher, which allows you to kind of pin your enemies, and as well as do lots of single target damage. The next javelin is the Colossus, who is the tank, but also the heavy weapon javelin. It allows you to tank hits draw aggro, as well as dish out as good as you get. Next is the Interceptor, who is your mobility class. Allows you to jump and dodge 3 times in succession, and it is heavily melee focused, allowing you to get in close with your adversaries, pop them with a shotgun, or use your almost infinite melee combo, which, if you ask me, is really cool. Lastly, my favourite is the Storm. The Storm is kind of your space wizard, just like the Warlock in Destiny. It allows you to use the elements as well as the power of the Anthem of Creation to decimate your foes from above. One of the things I liked about this demo, and rather this game, is the fact that the open world, an area known as Bastion, has world events, and this is like the key way that BioWare intends to keep this game interesting well into the Elder game. So when you're out in the world, you will come across things. For instance, in this mission you'll see, this little world event you're seeing now, is that I found a sentinel, or rather a freelancer, milling about, and they got set upon by the scars. So I came by, saw what was going on, and helped them. There are other world events. For instance, there is ones where you have to silence Shaper relics, or engage the scar, engage the minion, find treasures, and these are the kind of things that will not just net you gear, but also teach you ways of fighting against particular opponents. And obviously the harder the content is, the higher the rewards. Another thing that I want to highlight is something that I rather enjoyed. I don't play first person shooters too often, but the guns feel really good. I have to say, the first shooter game I played was Halo, and those guns feel pretty good, and there's a nice wide variety. But even in all these years since I've played Halo, the guns in Anthem feel really good. They really worked on the feedback. You're in a powered exosuit, so there isn't really going to be recoil, but the way the guns sound, they sound powerful. I use the assault rifle because that's something I'm familiar with, and a marksman rifle, and the kick from the marksman rifle it's just satisfying. I later used a heavy pistol, an SMG, and something else that I can't remember. But even those guns, they felt really good. It didn't feel like I was doing nearly as much damage as when using the gear, but hopefully in the full game they'll balance that out. I don't really want to feel like my weapons, my other weapons, do not have the same power as the gear, because even with something like the Storm, it could be really easy to overshadow the 2 arms that you have for the ability to just like strike down your opponent with a blast of lightning from the sky. It doesn't make much sense to have the guns sit on the side when it feels like they've put in a lot of work into how they feed back into everything. Another key thing obviously is flying, and it's said from interviews that flying was a big part of the mechanics for the game they wanted to work on, and you can tell by the world that it has influenced a lot. The open air areas, mainly on the outside and on the surface, have a lot of verticality, and that makes sense. If you're gonna be able to fly across an area, you need to have verticality. One, it makes it so the map isn't just a flat 2D plane, but also it is a 3D space. There are nooks and crannies up above and down below that will have treasures and things to find. So it's not just flying about, sorry, I shouldn't just say flying. You can also swim, and swimming is rather satisfying as well. You can always find lovely things to do, to find when you're swimming. I do hope that at some point they add a bit more to the swimming, because it feels like they could have done a bit more with it. But back onto the map and the 3D space. When you make a map a 3D space, you don't just have, oh, the map is large. When you go from point A to point B on two opposite ends of the map, it's a long way to travel. But with a 3D space, it's not just what's from point A to point B. You have point C, which could be at the top of a mountain, and point D at the bottom of a ravine underwater. There's so much you can do, and it doesn't necessitate having this huge open world map, because you've condensed it and you have a lot more to do within that space. And yeah, I think that's all I want to talk about for now about this game. I'll probably do another video next week discussing a bit more about my thoughts and feelings towards the game. I will probably have a couple of my friends also helping me out with that video. In the meantime, just sit back, relax, enjoy the footage, get hyped if you're hyped for the game. See me get my tin can handed to me multiple times and almost die. But also take a chance to look up the game before release. As I said before, I know it's an EA game and it makes some people a bit tetchy, but give this game a chance. I have high hopes for what BioWare are attempting to do, and I would hate to see the fruits of their labour go unnoticed, because if this game does well, this could open the doors for these kind of games having a story element that people want. We don't want people like I think it was one of the heads of EA saying that people don't want single player games anymore. Because that's not true. We do want single player games. I mean, Kingdom Hearts 3 just came out yesterday as of the recording of this video. Sorry, rather the recording of the video as the editing of this video. So, like, there's still a market for it. But if a story-driven game that allows you to play with your friends and interact with the world in this way becomes popular, it will become the mainstream, and then we will have more games like this that captivate people, not just in its gameplay but in its world. And I, for one, am looking forward to something like that in the future. Anyhow, enough rambling from me. I've almost spoken for a third of this video. I've been your boy Lam, the Ultimate Form, and I will catch you guys later.
Just got a message from a group of arcanists. They would like us to check something out. There should be an arcane vault around here. Let's check it out. An arcane vault. With the right script frequencies, it should open. Find the tuning point, and we can start matching the frequencies. Heads up, you've got scars headed your way. point. We'll need more. That's done it. Back to the vaults. Final tuning will take time. Stay close to the vaults. These scars are going to cause trouble. We need to clear the area. Tuning complete. Vaults open. You did it. They're on the run. Mission packed. Have at it. They're not finished with us yet. Wildlife inbound. Watch yourself. It's down. Well done. There'll be more trouble if we don't secure the area. That should thin their numbers. Nice work, mates. You've done good work today.